What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? We are here for the Real Housewives of Miami season 7, episode 9, I believe. So let's come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Chuck. Chuck was the first one in the room. He must have something to say, honey. Chuck got something to say. What's up, y'all? So sick of these fake apologies and acceptances, child. So let's get into it, you guys. So first of all, I have a couple of housekeeping things as far as the Real Housewives of Miami are concerned. First of all, I saw y'all know Gertie has been on a tour, right? Gertie has been doing interviews. Hell, I should have reached out to Gertie. She might have did an interview with me. But Gertie was on Two Peas in a Pod. And one of the things that she said on Two Peas in a Pod, y'all know that's with Tamara Judge and Teddy Mellencamp. One of the things that she said was that Julia has had multiple instances of violence, basically, for lack of a better word, right? She said it was the incident that we saw with the water. There was another incident that they showed, but where Julia got upset and was getting ready to throw something at Marisol, but they kind of stopped her. And then they said there was another incident that was so bad that they didn't even show it. And if you guys remember last season when they went to lunch, I think it was Dr. Nicole had a luncheon where she invited, I want to say she invited her boyfriend's mom or his side of the family, and Julia was there. Marisol was there, and they had that lady, I don't remember her name, but the lady that used to be on the show that Marisol and Alexia don't get along with. Y'all remember that? If you remember, excuse me, if you remember last season, I just don't remember that lady's name, but she was on Miami before the reboot, and Marisol and Alexia do. Matter of fact, they even left. They walked out. Anna actually confirmed this story because she said she was there, and she said it got so bad that Julia actually picked up a chair and was going to throw a chair. And they had to basically get the chair away from Julia, and that they never even showed it, which, number one, not surprised, because y'all know that they'll protect people that they like, i.e. Giselle at the reunion, right? We know they'll protect people that they like. But I found that to be so interesting that the water in the face was not even the first instance of Julia and her temper, right? So, number two, I was going to say this, if we had done the panel last week, I was going to actually say this. If you guys saw my review last week when we were talking about the Isaac Mizrahi comment, even though I still understand what he meant with what he said, because basically what he was saying was, I like the drama. That's why I watch the show. I love it when they do stuff like that. I also understand, after watching Gertie in a couple of interviews react to what he said, I understand how hurtful that must have been for Gertie to hear him say, oh, I loved it, when she was the one that was assaulted. So I want to apologize, because like I said, even though I understand what he was saying, I do want to apologize, because I do think it was a reckless thing for him to say. And after seeing Gertie's reaction, I could see that it was so hurtful. It was very hurtful. So that's the second thing I wanted to address. The third thing, I told y'all Gertie been doing these tours, honey. The third thing I want to address is Gertie actually I watched a TikTok where Gertie actually the person actually read Gertie's text messages. And again, I feel like editing did not do Gertie any justice in explaining what was in those text messages. And what was in those text messages made it very clear, which we all know by now, but I think in the moment, had production actually read through those text messages for our sake, for the fans' sake, we would have actually saw, and I understand that the text messages were long, I get it. But basically, Julia blew off Gertie the entire weekend. And Gertie basically was like, listen, I don't even understand why you invited me if you were just going to ignore me. I don't understand why I'm here if I'm going to be disrespected like this. Like, why would you invite me to something where I literally had just done this cruise. I literally had just stepped off this ship and I came back for you because you asked me to. And you literally blew me off. So the text messages just confirm what we know now, right? This makes me wonder why Gertie and Adriana want Julia as a friend. Good question. Yeah, Jim Fessler, we talked about that last week, Chuck. Yeah, Jim Fessler confirmed it as well. So anyway, so there's that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jen Fessler from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So, but that was what was in the text messages that would have confirmed it before Jen Fessler, before these other people spoke. You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying something now because it's being shown. But I mean, at the time, had those women taken the time to really read and hear, and that's what Gertie was saying. Gertie was like, I feel like, and that's why she said, I feel like it's a code. Because I just feel like you guys are speaking in one voice. You had made up your mind, and it was like one voice, one band. I mean, one band, one sound, you know, where y'all were going to stick here, and it didn't matter what I said. You weren't going to change your mind, and y'all were determined that I was the victim. I mean, that I was the villain, and Julia was the victim. So anyway, let's get into this episode. This episode was actually pretty decent, if I must say so myself. I think it was a decent episode. You guys know they're gearing up for a group trip, so they're not going to do a whole bunch of drama before the group trip. So we start off, we have Adriana and Lisa. Baby, Adriana done found a brothel for her dog. Let me tell you something. If it is something crazy off the beaten path for Adriana to find, baby, she can find it, okay? She done found a place that will allow her to let her dog have a little piece before she gets him snipped. I mean, I'm not even mad at the concept. I'm just like, how did you find this? You know what I'm saying? They want to keep Martina on the show. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess. You know, she is a star, so I guess. So then, so you have Lisa and Adriana, and Lisa's basically telling Adriana, look, girl, you did a lot on that boat. You were drunk. And Adriana was like, I'm embarrassed and I'm sorry. I was upset, and I really wish that Adriana, and I'm skipping ahead, but I really wish, one of my biggest issues with Adriana is she will do stuff and she will have this extreme behavior. And instead of just apologizing and leaving it at that, like, she'll acknowledge her behavior was wrong. But it's like she has to also get you to acknowledge what you did for her to behave the way she behaved. Instead of just saying, I was wrong. We'll get to that later on, though. We'll get to that. Hey, Sierra. I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode. So then we have Julia and Marisol meeting up. And basically, y'all know how they do. They're setting up for the group trip. They're going back to Spain. They said, oh, we need to get, we really, yeah, I was going to try. I got to take these glasses tomorrow. I got to. They are really hurting my ear. And no matter what I do to try to adjust, they're just pressing down on my ear. So I thought I was going to have a day where I really didn't have a whole lot to do tomorrow, but I'm going to have to get up in the morning and go down to the eye doctor and get them to adjust these things, because it's just, and sometimes I can get it in a good spot and but then anyway, moving right along. Basically, this was the setup for the group trip, right? Oh, we need to get Alexia out of the city. We need to get her away from Todd. She loves Spain. Let's take her to Spain. Y'all already know these group trips are already set up, so whatever. But they're going to 2 different cities in Spain, because it looked like they went on a multiple group trips, but it looks like they're still doing the same amount of group trips. They're just doing more than one place at a time. But anyway, the puppy sex was just wrong. Chuck said. I mean, they definitely could have saved it. I mean, but listen, if Adriana is gonna find something different, she gonna give you something different. You know, she could find a different way to film. Like remember with the ketamine, and remember with the butt I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. She got but they put the suctions on your butt. I mean, if Adriana is gonna give you something different, she gonna give you something different. So then we had where can I get a booty call? Child, I wish. I mean, they got doggy booty calls. So then we had Gertie, and I know a lot of people aren't crazy about Dr. Jackie, but I thought this was a great moment between Dr. Jackie and Gertie. Sometimes when they have these crossovers on shows, it's forced, and you're kind of like, how do these people know each other? I don't understand it. But I felt like this was a genuine moment. Both of these women have dealt with breast cancer. They said they've been friends for a while, and I'm sure they have moved in the same Bravo circles. I don't know if they've been friends, but they might have been. I don't know. Child, y'all know one of my biggest pet peeves is when I say something and then people leave a comment asking me as if I didn't say. Y'all know that's one of my biggest pet peeves. So somebody left a comment under my video I just did. The tribe meeting we just did, Chuck. The tribe meeting we just did, Sierra. Somebody had a nerve to leave a comment. I shouldn't say had a nerve. Somebody left a comment and said, Candy has spoken on her friendship with Todd in the past, and she even wrote a letter on his behalf. So I'm not understanding what you're disappointed in. Chuck, you were in that live. Did I not spend 15, 20 minutes explaining why I was disappointed in Candy? Did I not explain why I was disappointed in Candy? That is so frustrating to me. Because I'm like, that you don't have to agree with it. But why are you asking me what I said? Anyway, see, I went off left, coming back to the middle. So Gertie calls Dr. Jackie. And I love this moment because first Gertie is talking about what she's dealing with. She said, hey, I'm having some issues with intimacy, and y'all know that Dr. Jackie gonna push the product. So she was like, girl, you know I got some stuff for you. I'm gonna send you a care package. Okay. And then she started talking to Dr. Jackie about what she has going on. And they were talking in code, but you know what they were talking about. Because they, she said, the friends that I'm with, Dr. Jackie knew what she was talking about. She knew that she was talking about these hoes that I'm filming with. These hoes that I'm filming with are giving me a hard time. So she knew what Gertie was talking about. I don't think they hear you. That was their way of disagreeing with you. Right, LC. And my thing is, listen, it's okay to just say, really, B, I don't agree with that. It's okay to say that, but don't sit here and act like I didn't tell you what my issue was. It's okay to say, I don't think Candy, I don't think you should be disappointed in Candy because that's somebody she called a friend and she has spoken on it in the past. Got it. But to be like, I don't understand what you... And you know what, LC, people do it all the time. And I try not to let it bother me, but because and maybe because I teach, and that is a pet peeve of mine, that I literally stand in front of a group of kids and will explain something from beginning to end to beginning, repeat it 10 times, say it 4 different ways, put it on the board, put it on a sheet of paper, email it to the kids, and they will still be like, so what we doing? And I'd be like, I know I just spent 15 minutes of my life that I can't get back. You're right, LC, but I'm sorry. Y'all right. I appreciate that because sometimes I just need to be reminded, bring it back. So anyway, I thought that was a great moment because Gertie was definitely vulnerable in that moment. And again, it did bring me back to the Isaac Mizrahi statement where in that moment, I really saw that Gertie really feels alone in this moment. And she doesn't even have the person that I feel like she should have, which is Kiki. And not just because Kiki's a woman of color, but because they also share the fact that they're both Haitian and they have that common culture. You know what I mean? They're not just Black women, you know, because we know Black is a social construct, but they're also culturally connected, right? And so in this space where you're supposed to, with that one person who should, they don't even have your back. I know, I cannot imagine how alone Gertie felt in this season. And that moment with Dr. Jackie, I think showed how alone she was. And I know that, like I said, I know that Dr. Jackie is not one of her favorite people. I mean, not her. I know Dr. Jackie is not one of people's favorite people, but in that moment, I feel like Dr. Jackie had the right words in the right moment. And I feel like Gertie needed that. You know, I feel like that was more than just a scene. I feel like that was a real moment with them. And again, I don't know the level of their friendship, but that was a real moment, you know. And when Dr. Jackie told her, "Hey, girl, you have a big windshield and a small rearview mirror for a reason. You got it. The future is big, and what's in the past is small. And we don't need to always focus on that. So you just stay focused. You stay moving forward. You're using your platform in a way that's inspirational, and everybody loves Gertie. Everybody loves seeing what Gertie's doing. Everybody loves watching Gertie in this journey, fighting cancer and winning. And I think she just needed that, because that's all she needs from those women. All she needs from those women is an acknowledgement that even if she's not doing it all right, because none of them do it all right. None of them are 100% right all the time. So even if she isn't always making the right decisions or expressing herself in the right way, all she needs from them is an acknowledgement of, baby, I know this is a hard moment for you. I know you're struggling. Like, does anybody in the group even know how many surgeries this woman has had? Does anybody in the group understand what her husband's struggle is? Has anybody in that group gone over there and said, hey, we're going to, I mean, she doesn't have kids per se, but hey, what do you need us to do? I mean, in the beginning, we know that people came over or whatever, but once, have they come over? Even if it was just to film a scene and say, hey girl, let's have a pamper day. We're gonna do a spa day, or we're gonna bring the spa to you. Like, did we do any of that? So I know I went off on a tangent, child. I went off on a tangent, my bad. Okay. Right. Kiki trying to get her job or keep her job. Child, I know. Then we see where Mossad and Stephanie meet up with Martina and Julia for dinner. First of all, can I tell you that I don't, and if this is offending anybody, I'm gonna apologize on the front end. I mean, I still mean what I say, but I don't want to offend nobody. Unless it's a service animal, I can't stand people who bring dogs into a restaurant. If it's a service animal, fine. I got that. But just because you want to have your pet in the restaurant, and then Martina had the nerve to take that dog out of the carry case. Why do y'all have that dog? First of all, y'all got 20 dogs. Why was that dog the dog that y'all brought with y'all? Why was that dog? Like, it's not even like y'all only have one pet. Y'all got 20 damn dogs in that house. I mean, I'm exaggerating, I know, but they have more than one. And when I saw Martina walk into that damn restaurant with that dog, I was like, what? And then when Julia and Stephanie got up to go to the bar to have a conversation, and she took the dog out the bag. What? Now, you know what? If you're outside now, and if you're outside, like, especially if you live in an area where you might be walking your dog and you stop at like a little cafe, a little shop, and they have outdoor seating, that part, I ain't even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that. But it's when you're in these confined spaces, it's like, ugh. Anyway, baby, Mossad was straight up fanning out. He was fanning out over Martina Navratilova. Like, you can literally see, he couldn't even formulate a sentence. I was like, Julia, you might be in trouble, because I think he wants your woman. Because he was fanning out. Talking about some, I mean, and Stephanie, you are so disrespectful. Sometimes you don't know what the fuck to say out your mouth. Why would you look at that woman and look with a straight face? Did y'all hear Stephanie? With a straight face say to that woman, so how old are you going to be when those kids are 20? Stephanie, that was rude as fuck. Stephanie, that was rude as fuck. You looked at that lady with a straight face and said, so how old are you going to be when those kids are 20? I was like, girl. And then Martina gonna say, well, you know, Julia goes, no, because Julia gonna say, well, how, no, I think somebody said, well, how old are you, Dale? And she gonna say, Julia gonna say 67. Martina says 68. So, you know, in my head, I was like, so you gonna be in your 80s? I was like, so you gonna be in your 80s? Like, and then Stephanie gonna say, well, I'll be 40 next year. Bitch, if you don't shut up, Stephanie, then you gonna turn around and remind that woman that you 28 years younger than her. Girl, baby, when I tell you, I sat here and died. It was rude but funny all at the same time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was rude as fuck, but it was funny as hell. And I know that sounds like, you be like, well, how can it be two things at the same time? It was both. Because I laughed. Did y'all laugh? Because I laughed my ass off. And y'all know good and damn well that the only reason why they, well, no, let me not say that, because they stole them babies from somewhere in Africa. I'm convinced they did not adopt those boys in the United States. I don't think there's a adoption agency in the United States that would have gave them babies as old as they are. I just don't believe it. I believe they got them babies from some back organization in Bucharest. I don't know. Oh God. That's why I know Julia laid out some cash to get them boys. Yeah. Martina, yeah, they did. I told y'all they bought them babies, child. They stole them babies from somebody down. Like Madonna stole that little boy from Africa. His daddy's still trying to get him back, child. His daddy's still trying to get him back. Anyway, moving right along. So then they start talking about Stephanie got to bring up her sisters again. Stephanie, at this point, if your sisters ain't going to film, I don't care no more. I don't want to hear no more about you and your sisters not getting along. I just don't. I really don't. And then we found out that they twins too. Oh, I really want, listen. Hey, you know what? I might need to go through Stephanie Instagram and find her sisters. I might need to scroll back like 5 years on her Instagram and find her sisters and reach out to them. Because I want to know the story. Maybe I need to try to get an interview with them. Because at this point, girl, I don't care about nothing you saying. I want to know why your sisters are not speaking to you. And on the flip side, Julia, it's more to that story too. Let's start from the beginning and work our way back. Let's start from the beginning and work our way back. I knew from season 1 that Julia is not that close with her daughters. Remember when her daughter came to visit and she didn't even know what school, the name of her daughter's school? Y'all remember that? I think it was last season where it was either last season or at the end of the first reboot season when her daughter came to visit and she didn't even know what school her daughter was in. Y'all remember that? I remember I said it in my review. I said, how you don't know where your daughter go to school? Like, even though she does not live with you, I understand that. But how do you not know the name? Either she didn't know the name of the school or she didn't know her daughter had graduated. It was something crazy like that. I don't remember. Do any of y'all remember what it was? But it was something like either she didn't know the name of the school or she didn't know her daughter had graduated from school. It was something. And I was like, you ain't go to the graduation? I don't remember what it was, but I know I remember thinking. And I knew from that point forward, you're not that close with these girls. Like, y'all might have a cordial relationship. Y'all may talk from time to time, but you're not that close with those girls. So for you now to be sitting here crying, acting, talking about, well, it's just, they're upset and it's just the miscommunication. It's just a miscommunication. It ain't no just miscommunication. It's deeper. It was the name of the school. Thank you, Blue Hoodie. It was the name of the school. Because I remember thinking, how you don't know? Like, you don't pay the tuition. Like, you don't get a report card. Like, I mean, I know I'm a report card. But I'm just saying, how do you not know the name of the school that your child is in? Thank you, Elsie. Thank y'all. I couldn't remember what it was, but that's what it was. So to me, I knew then. I said, oh, you ain't really that close with these girls. Like, you just not. So for you to now say, oh, well, they're upset because there was miscommunication. Julia, that's your favorite word. When Julia want to lie about something, it was miscommunication, because that's what you said about Gertie. When you was on Watch What Happens Live, that's what you tried to say about Gertie not getting on that Zoom call, talking about it was just miscommunication. No, it wasn't. You lied. You lied. There was no miscommunication. You fucking lied. And made it seem like it was something that it wasn't. So because I know you lied on Gertie and tried to blame it on miscommunication, I feel like you lied on them girls. And I'm gonna extend the same invitation to them girls that I extended to Stephanie's sisters. We could do an interview if you want to set the record straight. Y'all call me. Okay. Okay. So the other conversation, so Julia lets Stephanie know that they're going to Spain, and Stephanie was like, sure, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna take my jet. But everybody can't ride with me. Would you like to go? Baby, Julia couldn't get it out her mouth fast enough. Here go Martina. I want to go. I can't go. So then they go off and have a one-on-one conversation about the Alexia of it all. Now, let me say this, Stephanie. See, here's where y'all know I hate when y'all, well, first of all, when it comes between Stephanie and Alexia, I don't care about either one of them, to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about either one of them. But when it comes to Martina can't go because the spouses aren't invited. And I mean, in this case, just because Martina's a woman, she's still a spouse, and the spouses aren't invited, child. But neither here nor there. So then Stephanie, hey girl, Stephanie gonna say, well, I feel like Alexia just hasn't been welcoming. She's the only person that hasn't been welcoming on this cast. And I mean, out of this group of friends, and everybody's been open to me, but I don't know what her issue is. And then she gonna tell Julia, and don't defend her either, because she's a bully. So here's the thing. Here's where you making me mad, Stephanie, because I'm about to have to defend Alexia. Let me tell you why I'm about to defend Alexia. And y'all know I think Alexia be putting 20 on 10. Your first introduction to Alexia was to tell her that God took out the trash. So why are you going to pick it back up? In reference to her relationship with her on again, off again husband. Even though your statement might have been valid, you did not know her. If I were in the midst of going through this crazy divorce and my first introduction to you was you feeling like you could give me advice on my husband, me and you gonna have a problem too. And I'm be honest with you, I don't even think it's about Alexia bullying you. I just think your first impression was a bad impression, and Alexia wasn't getting past it so easily. And the reason why Alexia wasn't getting past it so easily is because she was still in the midst of that bullshit with Todd. So honestly, you started it with Alexia. Now, do I think Alexia does too much? Do I think that Alexia has a problem accepting new women in the group? Absolutely. I agree. But I'm going to have to say, in this situation, you drew first blood, Stephanie. You drew first blood. Thanks, Auntie. You have a good evening too, love. Right, Elsie Charm. Alexia is dirt. But Stephanie, you started it. So at this point, You gonna have to deal with whatever Alexia give you. You can't make nobody get over nothing fast enough, faster than what you like. And then every time y'all see each other, because I think you made another comment about Todd at Gertie's event. You just can't keep coming at people and then I don't know why she's mad. What you mean? What you mean you don't know? I think it's pretty obvious. Stephanie has the filet mignon served on a trash can. I love it. There you go, Chuck. There you go. So then we go to Marisol's preppy event. Now let me say something. Marisol is good for a theme party. And I know she used to be a publicist and she used to be an event planner. I get that. Can I say something though about this preppy event? It wasn't that deep. Like, as old as these women are, and Larsa, I know you try to pretend like you ain't old, but bitch, you old as the rest of them. As old as these women are, it ain't that fucking complicated. Preppy was a style in the 80s, with like, yuppies on Wall Street, the Ralph Lauren sweaters, the Izod sweaters, the tennis skirts, the slacks, the saddle shoes. This shit ain't complicated. You could have Googled preppy look 1980s and it would roadmap. Then, right, polo shirts tied at the neck with the sweater, Then there was like a reboot of the preppy look in the 1990s with like Clueless, that whole Clueless era, right? It wasn't that fucking hard. Y'all are acting like Marisol asked y'all to solve a quadratic equation. I don't understand what was so fucking hard. Did you not see Marisol's outfit? She didn't put that much energy into it. Like, it really was just a tennis sweater and a fucking tennis skirt. It wasn't that hard. Alexia, wasn't that hard. Julia, it wasn't that hard. Even Adriana, to me, Adriana looked the best out of all of them. Adriana looked really cute. Adriana looked really, really cute. All of that. And remind me, Chuck, you remind me to come back to Adriana and the Harvard of it. In case I forget, you remind me to come back around to the Adriana and the Harvard. Okay. So before the ladies got there, y'all know Alexia had to be the first one to show up. Kiki ass, sneaky ass, bitch ass, gonna go back and tell Marisol, well, Gertie said that you guys were like a cult. Kiki, even though I love that Gertie stood in that shit, because Alexia, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. That's why would she say that about us? I don't like that. So they call themselves going to chastise Gertie, baby. Gertie was like, well, Kiki said something to us about you calling us a cult or something. Gertie was like, mm-hmm. I said it. And I loved it. I love that Gertie didn't try to make no explanation. She didn't try to sidestep it. She didn't try to quantify it. She said, "No, I said that. I said it, and here's why." And I feel like her explanation was clear. I don't feel like it left any gray area. She was very clear in what she said and why she called it a cult, and why she said that y'all were moving like a cult. Because again, she's not wrong. Right? Here go Alexia. See, this is what I'm saying, Alexia. In 1 minute, I gotta defend you because, in my opinion, Stephanie pulled first blood. But then in the next minute, here I come, Alexia. You had the nerve, Alexia. You had the nerve to say to Gertie, words mean things, and you have to be careful with your words because once you say them, they stick. Oh, you mean like calling Julia a Russian prostitute? Is that like words like that? Those kind of words? Like the words you said about Dr. Nicole? Those words? Or the paperwork you had on Adriana's boyfriend where he was married. Oh, you mean those words? When you tried to put out there that man was married and come to find out he was divorced, and you're going to say, oh, I didn't print out the whole document. Girl, how you going to bring a receipt and only print out page 1? How you going to print out page 1 showing a marriage certificate, but you don't print out page 2 showing a divorce decree? So now you on national television telling the whole world that this man is cheating on his wife. Oh, you mean words like those? Because it's funny to me how Gertie saying that y'all were moving like a cult, and which she clearly explained what she meant by that. That's a problem. But you calling Julia a Russian prostitute, that's okay. Got it. Cool. Next, I'm going to say, Marisol, if you don't put them motherfucking dogs up the next time you invite people to your house, first of all, every time somebody knock at the door, here go them damn rats, because them little dogs, nipping at people's legs and shit. If you don't put them dogs up, first of all, I done told y'all, that's not even Marisol's house. That's the pool house that she be filming at. And I'm not mad at her for not showing us the full house. Girl, filming your pool house. If it's big enough to film in, then that's fine. But here's the point I'm making. You got a whole nother house over yonder where you could put them dogs up for 2 hours, 3 hours. Why you got them dogs running around yipping at these people every time they come to your door? I get so now I don't have a problem with dogs. I really don't. I don't have an issue with dogs. But I get so sick of people inviting people to their home and acting like everybody's a dog person. Everybody's not a dog person. Put them dogs up. Especially in a situation like this where every 5 minutes somebody else was knocking at the door. And here come the dogs. So Adriana and Marisol go off to the side and have a conversation. And this is what I was saying earlier about Adriana that frustrates me. I don't like the fact, just apologize, girl, you were wrong. Okay, you got drunk. You said some really nasty shit. And it sounds like it was relentless. Like it looked like you went on for hours and hours and hours coming at Marisol. I get it. You sobered up. You realized that you was drunk as hell and your behavior was atrocious. Girl, just apologize. Please, I hate when people apologize and then add but. Girl, just apologize. And if Marisol doesn't apologize back, that's on Marisol. That's not on you. Because you were nasty to her. So, like, I hate when people apologize waiting for the reciprocal. So they agreed that they were going to squash their beef because there was too many other people beefing. They were getting ready to go on this trip. And you had Larsa and Lisa that's still walking on eggshells around each other. We got Alexia and Stephanie, and we got Julia and Gertie. And they were like, listen, we don't need to add our beef to the mix. We could just clear it up. We could just clear it up and just leave it where it is. Okay. Here's where these women are haters, and it irritates my soul. I get it. We're on a reality show. I get it. The drama. I get the shade. I'm here for all of that, right? The shade, the drama. Got it. Here's my issue, though. Sometimes it's okay to give your sister her flowers. Sometimes it's okay to just say, good job. Good for you. Congratulations. Adriana done sat here and told y'all that she is going through a master's program at Harvard, getting her master's degree in psychology. She said it's a hybrid program, which means that some classes she takes online, some classes she has to actually go on campus and take. But she right now will be graduating next year, and she has a 4.0 average. Why y'all can't just congratulate that woman? Why are y'all tearing that woman down and turning it into something that it may or may not be? I don't know if Adriana's lying, but I'm gonna go by what she said. We saw her studying earlier this season. Y'all remember? And I remember I said, what is she studying for? What is she in school for? We saw her studying earlier this season. Thank you, Chuck. But I didn't want to forget because it bothered me. And then here go Larsa. What do you mean, girl? All you did was sign up for a class online. Girl, you're the same one that thought that all Dr. Nicole did was put people to sleep. So I can't take seriously. Larsa, you don't count. Okay? You don't count because you really, you still feel like all Dr. Nicole does is put people to sleep, girl. Like that's moving right along. But she said that it was a program that she had to actually apply and get accepted to. So no, it's not and it's clearly not one of those, because Harvard does. A friend of mine just actually finished one that they had. I've had friends go to their like summer programs. They have a lot of them in education where you go up there. They're like 4-week long programs, and you get a certificate. And basically, the name Harvard sort of speaks for itself. And I think this year they were actually offering those classes for free. Actually, I should have applied for one. Maybe I'll apply for one next summer. Oh, I don't have time next summer, child. I'm gonna be gone next summer. But anyway. And even if that's all it was, right? Why y'all can't just, and I get it that Adriana gets on people's nerves, but why y'all can't just congratulate that woman? Why y'all can't just congratulate that woman and say, girl, good job? It just, oh my gosh, I feel like sometimes y'all just do so much to just tear each other down when sometimes it's okay to just say congratulations. Anyway. So Gertie and Julia go off to the side to talk. And I'm gonna be honest with you. While they were talking, I was hungry and I was frying some eggs because I just needed to put something on my stomach because I ain't had nothing heavy. And I ate dinner already. And I didn't want to eat chips or cookies and that. So I said, let me just fry a couple of eggs, scramble up a couple of eggs. So honestly, I was in the kitchen. You know why? Because I don't care anymore. I really don't care about Gertie and Julia's conversations. I just don't. I don't care about Gertie and Julia's conversations because I feel like Gertie has been very clear in her issues, and I feel like Julia has been very clear in her ignoring those issues and her behavior. So so if anything important was said, my apologies because I didn't listen. I mean, I listened, but it was, you know what I'm saying? I heard it, but I didn't hear nothing that I hadn't already heard. So then Stephanie and Alexia talk. And I felt the same way about Stephanie and Alexia. I mean, honestly, I feel like Alexia and Stephanie's conversation was very much the same. Excuse me. I feel like both of them were talking to hear themselves talk and nobody was listening. I mean, I didn't hear any resolution in that conversation. So then Stephanie says, well, I have one more seat on the plane. I offered it to Marisol, but Marisol says she wouldn't go without you. Do you want that seat? Now, I do understand why Stephanie offered the seat because she was like, if we're trying to move forward, maybe this would be a great opportunity for us to sit on this plane and we're kind of be forced to talk to each other and maybe get to know each other better and maybe get to, break down whatever the barrier is between us. I understand why she invited Alexia. But on the flip side, you had to know that if Marisol said no because Alexia couldn't go, then Alexia was going to say no because Marisol couldn't go. And here's where Stephanie shows her true colors as a friend. Here is where Stephanie showed her true colors as a friend. Did y'all hear when Stephanie said, you think I'm turning down a transatlantic flight on a private jet for my friend, I'm not doing that. I'll see you when we get there. That's how I know you ain't a friend. You ain't a sisterhood to nobody, Stephanie. Because here's the thing. People cannot like Marisol and Alexia's relationship. They can think that it's this, is that, and the other. But what nobody will question is whether they love each other and whether they're friends in real life. Those two women are friends in real life. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're friends in real life. And for you not to understand why Alexia turned down the seat after Marisol said, if she can't go, I'm not going. You thought that Alexia was going to be like, oh, all right, then cool, I'm on it. Just because it was a private jet. And don't get me wrong, I would love to fly on a private jet one day. And I damn sure would love to be on a private jet over the Atlantic where I can really kick my feet up. I ain't going to tell y'all no lies. But in that example, I don't understand why Stephanie didn't understand. You think it was a test to see if Stephanie, okay, it might have been. It might have been a test. You know, but I wouldn't have, I mean, in that situation. Now, on the other hand, Adriana took that as an example to throw back at Julia and be like, oh, Julia didn't hesitate to get on the private jet without me. I mean, she didn't have no issue jumping on the private jet without me. Dang, that's messed up. That's messed up. Adriana, you and Julia are not friends like Marisol and Alexia. Girl, Julia wasn't thinking about you. Hell, Julia wasn't even thinking about Martina. She didn't even say, well, Mark, you think, I mean, maybe she said it off camera, but on camera, baby, Julia didn't even want Martina asked to go. And that was pretty much where the episode ended. So y'all know the next 3 episodes, child, is gonna be them over in Spain doing the things in Spain, child. We'll see where the rest of this goes, honey. Right, Julia wasn't thinking about Adriana. So at this point, Adriana, I don't want to hear you whine about it anymore. Julia has shown you where you are. Adriana used a degree to let us know that Julia is a covert narcissist on Watch What Happens Live. Oh, I have to go back and look. I looked at the first few minutes. But then of course I came live, so I didn't see all of it. But that was pretty much the episode. So tomorrow the panel will be here on my channel, and we'll do last week's episode and this week's episode. So I'm sure that'll be an interesting conversation. Other than that, I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Thank y'all for being here.